Being alone is powerful. It helps you realize that you need yourself more than anyone else. We generate fears when we sit idle, but we overcome them through action. If you want to make the wrong decision, ask everyone for advice. If people could take back the pain they caused you, you'd lose the strength you gained from it. If you focus on the hurt, you will continue to suffer, but if you focus on the lesson, you will continue to grow. The magic you're searching for is often hidden in what you're avoiding. You can choose to be either a negative or a positive person, but only one of those will get you somewhere. Never reveal your next step. Just take it. A closed mouth never gets caught. The people who say you can't or won't succeed are often scared that you will. Be mindful of how you talk to yourself because you are always listening. Stop thinking you're doing it wrong. Your path doesn't look like anyone else's because it's unique to you, and it should be. If something makes you happy, keep it quiet. The family you create is more important than the one you come from. The more you know yourself, the less you need the approval of others. Just because the past didn't turn out how you wanted doesn't mean your future can't be better than you ever imagined. Don't try to convince yourself or others when you're constantly pleasing everyone. You almost always end up pleasing no one. You can't become who you want to be while remaining the same person. The truth is, everyone will hurt you at some point. You just need to find the ones worth suffering for. If you find yourself repeatedly questioning whether something is right for you, the answer is probably no. Accept both compliments and criticism. It takes both sunshine and rain for a tree to grow. Don't let newfound wisdom lead you to condemn yourself for past mistakes. Bad habits are like a comfortable bed, easy to get into but hard to get out of. In the end, we often regret the chances we didn't take, the relationships we avoided, and the decisions we hesitated on. Waiting for change without taking action is like waiting for a train at a bus stop. We can learn wisdom in 3 ways. First, by reflection, which is the noblest. Second, by imitation, which is the easiest. And third, by experience, which is the bitterest. Don't let other people's opinions drown out your inner voice. Hope for the best, but plan for the worst. Respect yourself, because people can sense when you don't. It's impossible to make everyone happy, and trying to do so will only lead to frustration and disappointment. Stay away from people who can't see their own mistakes but are quick to find fault in yours. Focus on the step in front of you, not the entire staircase. Be brave enough to start small. Your thoughts are like boomerangs. What you pass along to others is what will return to you. Listen to those who tell you what you don't want to hear. The longer you entertain what isn't for you, the longer you delay what is. The cost of procrastination is the life you could have lived. Don't depend too much on anyone in this world, because even your own shadow leaves you in darkness. You can't help others if you don't take care of yourself first. It's better to act and repent than to do nothing and regret. Excuses make today harder, and discipline makes tomorrow easier. If you're a giver, know your limits, because takers don't have any. If you don't clean up what's in your mind, you'll drop what's in your hands. Never share your problems with others before you found a solution. It's not that you lack potential, you lack consistency. It's not about skill, it's about strategy. It's not about resources, it's about discipline. Your future is in your hands, but your doubt is in your head. Everyone wants to avoid struggle, not realizing that character is built through it. Self-doubt is dangerous. Stay away from it. Vision without execution is just a hallucination. The more you try to forget someone, the more you remember them. Never let a lack of support stop you from achieving your goals. Don't be afraid of losing people. Be afraid of losing yourself by trying to please everyone. Putting things off for tomorrow is a sign of weakness. Once you mature, you realize that silence is more powerful than proving your point. Lack of boundaries invites a lack of respect. Do more than talk. Take action. Stop choosing people who aren't choosing you. Learn to be okay with not being invited, included, or considered. It won't happen overnight, but if you quit, it won't happen at all. Work at your job to make a living, but work on yourself to make a fortune. The hardest part is the beginning, just like a rocket loses 90% of its fuel during takeoff. Sometimes, people don't want to hear the truth because they don't want their illusions shattered. Don't be upset with the results you didn't work for. Success begins with a small step and taking a chance. Stay alone until you're valued. Failing to prepare is preparing to fail. The things you say about others reveal more about you than them. Don't be afraid to start over again. This time, you're starting from experience, not from scratch. It's not the future that worries you, it's your thoughts about it. Stop expecting life to be fair and start expecting yourself to be better prepared for any situation. When you stop chasing things, you give them a chance to come to you. Embarrassment is the cost of entry. If you're not willing to look like a beginner, you'll never become the master. You are responsible for your own happiness. If you expect others to make you happy, you'll always be disappointed. You're right about all the things you think you need to do, so get started. Not everyone is meant to be in your future. Some people are just passing through to teach you a lesson. Just because something is hard doesn't mean it's impossible. The best way to keep a promise is not to make it in the first place. Expect much from yourself. That's the secret to a happy life. You might regret your words, but you'll never regret your silence. Don't let people disappoint you twice. Nothing is too difficult if you break it down into smaller tasks. Don't sacrifice your progress for the sake of a friend. They may not do the same if the roles were reversed. Today, you're the oldest you've ever been and the youngest you'll ever be again. Happiness isn't something you postpone for the future, it's something you design for the present. A private life always wins. Being alone is better than being with people who pretend to love you. Don't be afraid to give up the good to go for the great. The more people let you down, the faster you'll learn to get back up and realize that life doesn't stop for anyone. Sometimes you have to lose something good to gain something better. Be careful who you trust. Salt and sugar look the same. Success is getting what you want. Happiness is wanting what you get. Most people stay in the same place for a reason. The things they hold dear are the anchors that keep them there. Before you can fix anyone else, you must go to war with yourself to fix you. You will not always be motivated, so you must learn to always be disciplined. The quickest way to succeed is to start now and figure it out as you go. Pain is often a great teacher, and you make the best decisions when in pain because you're motivated by the fear of experiencing it again. What we do during working hours determines what we have. What we do during our leisure hours determines what we become. If you treat someone based on who they are, they will remain the same. But if you treat them as who they could be, they will grow into that person. The best way to cheer yourself up is by trying to cheer someone else up. Grind like no one has your back. Your life isn't truly yours if you care too much about what others think. You may not realize it, but the people you love are often your biggest weaknesses. Set your mind on a clear goal, and you'll be surprised at how quickly the world will step aside to let you pass. Once you realize your value, you'll be shocked at what you used to settle for. Don't tell everyone what you think or know. Keep your secrets to yourself, because today's friend could be tomorrow's enemy. If people treat you like an option, leave them like a choice. To get to a better place, you sometimes need to leave something behind. Leaving at the right time prevents regrets and complaints later. Be patient with your actions and patient with the results. There's no limit to what you can achieve except the ones you set in your mind. Distance yourself from those who bring out the person you're trying not to be anymore. Embrace solitude as a time for reflection and self-discovery. Forgive your old self. You've changed. Many of the people you confided in have probably shared your struggles with others. It's during the struggle that character is built. If you define the problem correctly, you've almost found the solution. There are no shortcuts to places worth going. The true test of character is what you do when no one is watching. You've got to do what's right for you, even if it hurts some people you love. When you work for someone else, you often sacrifice your own growth. The first step to getting somewhere is deciding you're not going to stay where you are. You might spend years swearing you don't care what others think, only to realize they weren't thinking about you at all. Stand up and face your fears, or they will defeat you. Sometimes, loneliness is the price you pay for being true to yourself. In order to love who you are, you can't hate the experiences that shaped you. Focus on making yourself better, not on thinking you're better than others. Do what no one else can do, and you'll become what no one else can become. Someone else's progress doesn't diminish yours. Not everyone you trust will be trustworthy. Comfort is the enemy of progress. The quieter you become, the more you can hear. The people who matter don't mind, and those who mind don't matter. You can accept apologies, but trust may not return. You're hard to control when you're healthy, hard to manipulate when you're clear, and hard to influence when you're confident in yourself. It takes time to realize how miserable you are, and even longer to realize it doesn't have to be that way. Your life should be a safe space, not another battle. Your direction is more important than your speed. A single source of income won't lead to a comfortable life. Build multiple streams. Have at least one person in your life who gives you honest feedback. Later often becomes never, so do it now. Your choices should reflect your hopes, not your fears. Good decisions come from experience, and experience often comes from making bad decisions. Worrying is like a rocking chair. It gives you something to do, but it won't get you anywhere. The only thing that should be beneath you is your ego. Work hard in silence and show your skills. Criticizing the job doesn't help. It's better to improve yourself. It's better to be alone than in bad company. If you don't make yourself indispensable, you'll soon be replaceable. The secret to success is doing common things uncommonly well. Time is your most valuable resource. There are no refunds or second chances for wasted time. Obstacles are the way forward, not roadblocks. You're more defined by what comes out of your mouth than what goes in. If you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. Surround yourself with people who lift you higher. Where fear ends, strength begins. The first step to progress is deciding you're not willing to stay where you are. Obstacles appear when you take your eyes off your goals. Betrayal never comes from enemies. It comes from those close to you. You won't remember the days you stayed home doing nothing. If you stop viewing the world based on your likes and dislikes and see things for what they are, you'll find more peace. There is no perfect time. Act now. The best thing about hard times is that they reveal everyone's true colors. What the mind can conceive and believe it can achieve. Always take responsibility for your actions. That's the mark of a mature individual. Your goals are the compass that guides you through life's storms. If you don't value your time, no one else will. No relationship is worth damaging your mental health. Spend time with the elderly. Their wisdom and life experiences are invaluable. Never expect someone to catch you when you fall. You've caught many people from falling, but not everyone will do the same for you. There are moments when you see someone for the last time without even realizing it. You'll never truly understand the value of a moment until it becomes a memory. Just because a thought grabs your attention doesn't mean it deserves it. Surround yourself with people who feed your soul, not those who drain it. If you want the present to be different from the past, study the past. The key to happiness is letting each situation be what it is, not what you think it should be. In writing the story of your life, don't let anyone else hold the pen. There are two paths you can go by, but in the long run, you still have time to change the road you're on. Don't see anyone as your competition. You don't share the same goals, ambition, or mind. You are not the same. If you stay positive in a negative situation, you win. The heaviest burden we carry is the weight of our own expectations. Learn to handle rejection gracefully. It's a part of life. Perseverance is the key to success, overcoming almost everything, even nature. Don't let the things that hurt you turn you into someone you're not. Build your dreams, or someone else will hire you to build theirs. Mistakes are proof that you're trying. The secret to achievement is to hold a picture of success in your mind. Count your blessings, not your problems. Be proud of how hard you're trying. Ships don't sink because of the water around them. They sink because of the water that gets inside. Don't let what's happening around you drag you down. To speak is to show knowledge. To listen is to show intelligence. If you need external inspiration to act, don't do it. You're not defined by what happened to you, but by what you choose to become. Find something you love, something you can lean on, something that keeps you going. You need a source of strength to fall back on when you get discouraged. Accept that you're not important to everyone and move on. Find something you love, something you can lean on, and something that will keep you going. You need a source of strength to fall back on when life gets hard. Accept that you may not be important to some people and move on. Remember, every rejection from something good can redirect you to something better. Beyond every storm lies the strength that comes from making it through. Some of the best times of your life haven't even happened yet. Take a moment to recognize where you are now and acknowledge how hard you've worked to get here, even if you're not exactly where you dream to be just yet. Lessons won't work unless you do. Don't change yourself to make someone else happy, unless that person is you. The longer you live in the past, the less future you have to enjoy. Don't worry about those who talk behind your back. They're behind you for a reason. There are no missed opportunities. If something wasn't yours, it wasn't meant to be. If you don't sacrifice for what you want will eventually become the sacrifice. Your life isn't truly yours if you constantly worry about what others think.
Tahan.
Sometimes you need to burn bridges to stop yourself from crossing them again. A person without a vision for the future always returns to the past. Make sure your choices are worth the sacrifices. Action breeds more clarity than thought. You can't think your way into a new life. You have to act your way into one. Make as many mistakes as you need to, just don't make the same one twice. If you're unsure of how to move on, start with something small. Moving forward doesn't mean going back. Sometimes you need to be a bit selfish, putting yourself first to consider what's truly best for you. See people as they are, not as you want them to be. Be humble enough to know you're not better than anyone else, but wise enough to know you're different from the rest. Until you're comfortable being alone, you'll never know if you're with someone out of love or loneliness. People don't decide their futures. They decide their habits, and those habits decide their futures. Accept what you can't change, and change what you can't accept. The greatest challenge in life is discovering who you are. The second greatest is being happy with what you find. Sometimes you think you know someone, but often you only know what you wanted to see. If you don't control your mind, someone else will. At the very least, some people teach you how not to be. You can't make anyone love you, and you can't force yourself to love someone else. Don't burn valuable opportunities for temporary comfort. Confidence doesn't come from expecting success. It comes from becoming comfortable with failure. Sometimes the hardest thing and the right thing are the same. We are the average of the people we spend time with, so surround yourself with good people to be one. Don't expect change if you aren't willing to make one. People will walk in and out of your life, and those you least expect may become mere memories of a time you once thought would last. You train people how to treat you, consciously or not. Remember, the point of an argument is not to defeat the other person, but to understand each other. If something scares you, it may be a sign that it's worth trying. Your worth isn't defined by someone else's inability to see it. There are no bad emotions, only harmful ways of reacting to them. Learn to handle negative emotions in constructive ways. New ways of thinking lead to new ways of living. Enemies often tell you the truth because it hurts, while friends sometimes lie because it doesn't. Develop the willingness to act with integrity even when it's unpopular. Be brave enough to say what you truly mean, not just what others want to hear. If someone's absence brings you peace, keep that peace. We often overestimate what we can accomplish in a year, but underestimate what's possible in 5. Your past, even if messy, has powerful influence on your future, but it deserves freedom from your mind. Don't be afraid to start over. This time, you're not starting from scratch. You're starting from experience. The more responsibility you take for your life, the stronger you'll grow. Do something with that pain. Transform it. Remember, your friends and family don't always know what's best for you. Loneliness is often the price you pay when you begin to improve yourself. Don't take people for granted. You never know when they might be gone, and you may only realize their true value in their absence. Judge people by their actions, and you'll never be deceived by their words. When someone reveals their true colors, believe them. Don't try to repaint the picture. If you want to feel motivated, start by taking small steps toward your goals. You won't remember the days and nights spent doing nothing, but the shoulder you lean on during tough times is far more valuable than applause during your successes. Forgiving the person who hurt you doesn't heal them. It heals you. Accept that life isn't about dwelling on the past or obsessing over the future. It's about living fully in the present. People will eventually forget what they rehearsed, and you are always responsible for your actions regardless of your emotions. Being honest may not earn you many friends, but it will always bring you the right ones. Learn to deal with those you don't want to emulate. No matter how skilled you are, if you're in the wrong environment, your potential remains limited. Extraordinary results often come from repeating ordinary actions with consistency and commitment. You can choose a safe, conventional life, or you can choose a more challenging yet meaningful one. A person must be big enough to admit their mistakes, wise enough to learn from them, and strong enough to correct them. When you blame others for your problems, you're giving them the power to control your happiness and well-being. People start to resent you when they can no longer control you. Forgive yourself for not knowing what you didn't know before. If you're constantly trying to prove your worth to others, you've forgotten your own value. Purpose isn't found somewhere else. It's created exactly where you are, with the meaning you give it. No single achievement or relationship will solve all your problems. You may always feel somewhat inadequate and slightly dissatisfied with life, but that's part of the journey. Life isn't complete without meaningful stress. Stress that challenges you to grow and adds purpose to your path. You won't necessarily forget some bad things. You just stop caring. Don't stress too much about them. It's never too late to do what you've always wanted. Don't let naysayers discourage you. They may only be projecting their own insecurities. The more you love yourself, the more you detach from things that don't love you back. Follow your heart, but take your brain with you. You can have results or excuses, not both. Confidence often builds when you start doing things you're not fully qualified for. Be smart enough to ask for advice, but wise enough to know who to seek it from. The more you win against your fears, the more fearless you'll become. Never make someone a priority who only sees you as an option. Those who fight may lose, but those who don't fight have already lost. The only way to feel good about yourself is by doing things worth feeling good about. Many things may break your heart, but they also refine your vision. Don't deny yourself experiences just because they're unknown or uncomfortable. They may become defining, wonderful parts of your life. There will always be someone who can't see your worth. Don't let that person be you. Your whole life can change in an instant. So instead of taking it for granted, be grateful for what you have and do all the good you can. One of the most dangerous things you can do is believe others' opinions about you. Your relationships with others mirror your relationship with yourself. Tomorrow can look very different from today if you make an effort, but if you keep focusing on what isn't working, tomorrow won't work either. It's not just about time, it's about making time. You can't always be nice. That's how people take advantage of you sometimes. Set boundaries. Destroy the old version of you before it destroys you. Be selfish with your time when you need to. There's a reason some people are no longer in your life. Honesty is a valuable gift. Don't expect it from those who can't afford it. Many people are only kind when nothing is at stake. Never be so kind that you forget to be clever, and never be so clever that you forget to be kind. In life's hardest moments, you'll often find yourself alone, but these are the times that make you wiser, stronger, and fearless. Some people will only care about you when they need something from you, When you start to see your worth, you'll find it harder to stay around people who don't. Maturing is realizing that relationships don't always work out, and not everything can be fixed, no matter the effort. Just one step can change everything, so don't cheat. Be honest and be loyal. Never take someone's feelings for granted, because you never know the courage it took for them to share. If you have more than 3 priorities, you have none. Resentment is like drinking poison and expecting someone else to die. You can't control someone's loyalty towards you. Sometimes you can give your all and still not be treated well. As we dive in, remember that your thoughts are essential, so share them in the comments below. And keep this in mind: blaming others won't improve your life. Taking action and responsibility will. A spotless home might be nice, but all you'll truly want is for the ones who made the mess to return. Action reveals a person's true character. Words are merely a mask. Be cautious about your generosity. Some may take advantage of your kindness. Remember, your progress is real, even if no one else notices it. Expecting too much from others can lead to disappointment. You can ruin your life trying to please everyone. The only time you should look into someone else's bowl is to ensure they have enough. There's a choice between being right and being kind. Take criticism carefully, especially from those whose advice you wouldn't follow. If you work solely for someone else's dream, you sacrifice your own. People who lack purpose in their lives will often try to create drama in yours. You can't lose what you never had, keep what isn't yours, or hold on to things that don't want to stay. Life often offers a second chance. It's called tomorrow. Most people will deceive you if given the opportunity, so remember, it's never too late to reinvent yourself. When you do things right, people may not notice, but don't set yourself on fire to keep others warm. Don't worry about those who mind and focus on those who don't. Believe what you see and question what you hear. Never expect someone to catch you when you fall, even if you've caught many before. Sometimes it can take years to see the truth about people you thought were friends. Every ending is also a beginning. We just don't see it at first. Life may knock you down, but remember, you don't lose by falling. You lose by staying down. You may be the only one who believes in you, but that's enough. Each person you meet may be passing through to teach you a lesson in life. A word of advice: life is a journey of growth, resilience, and self-discovery. Cherish those who uplift you, let go of those who hold you back, and always remain true to your own path. This channel is here for anyone seeking strength, insight, and a reminder that you're not alone in your journey.